Picture a raging storm at sea, waves clawing at the sky, winds howling with untamed fury. Amidst this chaos, you stand at the edge of a jagged cliff staring at a lone lighthouse. Its beam cuts through the darkness, unwavering, unshaken, a silent sentinel of calm in a world gone mad. This is you, or at least it can be. Right now, though, the storm isn't just around you, it's within you. Every harsh word, every impulsive snap, every reaction you can't control, it's a wave crashing against your own foundation, eroding the life you're trying to build. How many times have you let that inner tempest tear down your dreams, your relationships, your peace? Welcome to the battle of a lifetime, mastering the storm within. This is about control, not over the world, but over yourself. It's about understanding the destructive force of unchecked reactions and the havoc they wreak on every corner of your life. You've felt it, haven't you? That moment when anger flares, words spill, and regret follows like thunder. But here's the promise. Power comes from staying calm. Like that lighthouse, you can stand firm, guiding yourself and others through chaos. Let's dive into the wreckage of impulsive reactions, uncover their cost, and forge a path to unyielding stillness. Picture yourself in a sleek, glass-walled boardroom. You're a professional with years of grit behind you, sitting across from your team, pitching ideas with passion. The stakes are high, a promotion you've bled for is on the line. Your manager offers feedback, but it stings. The critique isn't gentle. It cuts into your pride, questioning your approach in front of everyone. You feel the heat rising, a storm brewing in your chest. Before you can stop it, words erupt, sharp, defensive, laced with anger. I've put everything into this. How can you not see it? The room falls silent, eyes drop. The air thickens with tension. You've just unleashed a tempest and there's no pulling it back. Days later, the news hits like a rogue wave. The promotion goes to someone else. Not because you lack skill, but because you lack control. Your manager's words echo in your mind. We need someone who can handle pressure without breaking. That moment of unchecked reaction didn't just cost you a title. It cost you trust, respect, and opportunity. You sit alone replaying the scene, wondering how a single outburst could unravel months of work. But here's the lesson carved from the rubble: you are the lighthouse. That storm of criticism wasn't the enemy, your reaction was. Had you paused, breathed, and stood firm like that sentinel on the cliff, you could have turned critique into connection, showing strength through calm. The takeaway burns clear: power isn't in lashing out. It's in holding steady when the winds howl loudest. Now shift to a quieter battleground, your home. It's a hectic evening. You're a parent juggling deadlines, dinner, and exhaustion. Your child, barely old enough to tie their shoes, spills juice on the floor. It's a small mistake, a puddle of sticky orange, but in your frayed state, it feels like a personal attack on your last shred of patience. The storm within surges. Why can't you be more careful? You snap, voice sharp as lightning. Your child freezes, eyes wide, then turns away silent. That silence is heavier than any mess. You've just cracked something far more precious than a glass trust. In the days that follow, you notice the change. Your child hesitates to approach you, their laughter dim their small hands, less eager to reach for yours. You've built a wall with a single reaction, and the regret gnaws at you like relentless waves against a shore. You ache to rewind, to kneel down instead, to clean the spill together with a gentle word. But the moment is gone, and the damage lingers. Yet there's a beacon in this darkness. You can be the lighthouse for your child, for yourself. That storm of frustration wasn't about the juice. It was about your inability to anchor yourself in calm. Had you stood steady, you'd have shown them and yourself that mistakes don't define us. Our responses do. The lesson shines through unchecked reactions, fracture bonds, but calm rebuilds them stronger than before. Let's step back and face the tempest head on. What is this storm within this destructive force of unchecked reactions? It's not just anger or frustration. It's the raw, unfiltered impulse that hijacks your mind before wisdom can intervene. It's the voice that screams, defend yourself when silence would serve you better. It's the fist that clenches when an open hand could heal. Every time you let it rule, you hand over your power, your peace, your progress, your relationships to a fleeting emotion. How many bridges have you burned in the heat of a moment? How many opportunities slipped through your fingers because you couldn't weather the gust? Think of yourself as that lighthouse amidst the storm. The waves of criticism, stress, or disappointment will come. They're inevitable. But your foundation, your calm, is your choice. When you react without thought, you're a ship tossed by the current, splintering against unseen rocks. When you stand firm, you become the guide not just for yourself, but for everyone lost in the chaos around you. As Viktor E. Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space is your lighthouse beam. Use it. Don't let the storm dictate your path. Let your stillness light the way. Dig deeper into the wreckage. Unchecked reactions don't just sting in the moment. They ripple outward, carving scars into every facet of your life. A harsh word to a colleague festers into distrust, poisoning teamwork for months. A snap at a loved one builds invisible walls, turning warmth into caution. Even alone, your impulsive thoughts rage at a setback. Despair at a failure erode your belief in yourself. Each reaction is a stone thrown into a still pond. The ripples spread far beyond the initial splash. Have you ever stopped to count the cost? What have you lost to the storm within? Imagine a river carving through a mountain. At first, it's just a trickle, a fleeting outburst here and there. But over time, each reaction deepens the groove, wearing down your resolve, your relationships, your dreams. You can't stop the river of emotion from flowing. It's human, but you can choose where it cuts. Be the lighthouse, not the crumbling cliff. Stand tall against the current. Redirect that energy into patience, into purpose. The storm within is powerful, but so are you. Its destruction is not your destiny. It's a warning to build a stronger base, to anchor yourself in calm before the next wave hits. So how do you begin to tame this storm? It starts with a single, deliberate act: the pause. When the heat rises, when criticism stabs, when frustration boils, stop. Don't speak, don't move, just breathe. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4. This isn't weakness. It's wielding the strongest weapon you have against impulse. That pause is your lighthouse beam, cutting through the fog of reaction, giving you a moment to see clearly. In that space, ask yourself one question: will my next words or actions build, or will they break? If the answer leans toward destruction, pivot. Walk away if you must. Write down your anger instead of shouting it. Sip water to cool the fire in your throat. These small acts are anchors tethering you to calm. Practice this daily, even in minor irritations: a delayed email, a spilled coffee. Build the muscle of pause now, so when the real storms come, you're ready to stand unshaken. Remember, control isn't in suppressing emotion. It's in choosing how it flows. Beyond the pause, there's a second step to harness: rewrite the story in your mind. Unchecked reactions often stem from the tales we tell ourselves. They're attacking me. This is unfair. I can't take this. These narratives fuel the storm, turning a spark into a wildfire. Your power lies in flipping the script. When criticism lands, don't see it as a personal assault. See it as a map to grow. When a child's mistake frustrates, you don't label it carelessness. See it as a chance to teach. Start small. The next time irritation flares, catch yourself mid-thought. Write down the automatic story. They're disrespecting me, then rewrite it. They're struggling just like I do sometimes. Speak this new narrative aloud if you can. Let it sink in. This isn't ignoring reality, it's reframing it to serve you. As Wayne Dyer once said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Be the lighthouse by shifting your lens. Guide yourself out of the storm by choosing a story that builds calm, not chaos. Let's end this exploration with a timeless truth: the storm within never fully vanishes. Life will always bring winds of challenge, waves of doubt, and thunderclaps of pain. Your reactions will be tested again and again by a cutting remark, a crushing failure, a moment of sheer exhaustion. But here's the revelation: you don't need the storm to stop. You need to become the beacon that outlasts it. The lighthouse doesn't fight the tempest. It simply stands. Its power isn't in force, but in presence, in refusing to be moved. What if every reaction you've ever regretted was a lesson, not a loss? What if each impulsive outburst was a signpost pointing you toward greater strength, as Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich? Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Your unchecked reactions are not your shame, they're your forge. They shape you if you let them into a force of calm that nothing can shake. Embrace this journey. Build your foundation now, brick by brick, breath by breath, until the storm within bows to your stillness. You've walked through the wreckage of unchecked reactions, felt the sting of words unleashed and opportunities lost, and seen the silent fractures in bonds you hold dear. But you've also glimpsed the power of calm, how a single pause, a reframed thought, a steadfast presence can turn chaos into clarity. The key lesson of this journey is this: your reactions are your storms, but your calm is your strength. Every time you choose stillness over impulse, you build a life that stands tall, unshaken by the gales of circumstance. We've only begun to chart this path. There's more to uncover: deeper tools, stronger anchors, and brighter beacons to guide you through life's tempests. But for now, hold this truth close. Be the lighthouse amidst the storm. Let your calm be the light that others seek, the guide that never falters. Stand firm. The waves will come, but you will endure. Final mantra: be the lighthouse. Stand steady and the storm will pass. Picture a mountain, ancient and unyielding, standing tall against the howling wind. The gusts rage, the storms batter its slopes, yet it remains a silent giant, unmoved by chaos. Now look within. Are you that mountain, or do you crumble when life's tempests strike? And too often you react, lashing out or retreating at the first sign of pressure. But what if the power to stand firm, to control your reactions, lies buried in understanding where those impulses are born? Welcome to the journey of uncovering the roots of impulse, the hidden triggers that fuel your outbursts and doubts. Here in the heart of staying calm, you'll learn that true strength isn't in fighting the wind, it's in refusing to be moved by it. Let's dig deep together into the origins of your reactions, for in that soil lies the seed of your unshakable power. Imagine a young adult, let's call her Maya, sitting at a family dinner. The room buzzes with familiar voices, but beneath the surface, old tensions simmer. Her brother makes a casual remark about her career, a jab at her unsteady progress. It's a small spark, but it ignites a wildfire. Maya's face flushes, her voice rises, and before she knows it, sharp words spill out, words she doesn't mean, words that cut deep. The table falls silent. Regret floods in, but the damage is done. Why did she snap? The answer isn't in that moment, but in the years before. A childhood of feeling unheard of, bottling up frustrations, of never quite measuring up to expectations. These are the roots of her impulse. Each unspoken hurt became a brick in a wall of resentment, and that single comment was the hammer that shattered it. Maya's story is yours, isn't it? How many times have you exploded over something small, only to realize later it wasn't about that moment at all? The outburst wasn't just a reaction to a word, it was a release of 1,000 buried wounds. But here's the lesson: you are not a slave to those roots. Like a mountain unmoved by the wind, you can stand firm. Maya, in the days after, took a hard look at herself. She began to name those old frustrations, writing them down, speaking them out with a trusted friend. She didn't erase the past, but she robbed it of its power to control her present. The next family gathering, when tension rose, she breathed deep. She chose silence over chaos. She became the mountain. And in that choice, she found a strength she never knew she had. The key takeaway here is that understanding your triggers, those hidden roots, gives you the power to choose calm over conflict. Now picture a student named Liam hunched over his desk, surrounded by crumpled papers and a half-finished project. He's poured weeks into this work for a college course, a design that could define his future. He submits it, heart-pounding with hope, only to receive feedback that stings like a slap. Unoriginal, lacks a depth. The words echo in his mind louder than any praise he's ever received. Self-doubt, that old shadow, creeps in. Within hours, he's convinced himself he's a failure. He deletes files, abandons the project, and walks away telling himself he's not cut out for this. But what triggered this collapse? It wasn't just the critique. It was the voice in his head, rooted in years of fearing. He's not enough, of fear planted by past failures, by comparisons, by a relentless need to prove himself. Liam's spiral mirrors moments in your own life, doesn't it? A harsh word, a setback, and suddenly you're ready to quit. But dig deeper. That reaction wasn't born in the moment, it grew from seeds of insecurity planted long ago. The lesson lies in seeing those roots for what they are, shadows, not truths. Liam, after days of avoidance, faced his doubt. He revisited the feedback not as a verdict, but as a map. He rebuilt his project piece by piece, proving to himself he could endure the wind of criticism. Like a mountain, he stood firm, unmoved by the storm of his own fears. The takeaway is clear: when you uncover the origins of your impulse to flee, you gain the power to stay, to rebuild, to rise. Let's pause and look beneath the surface. Your reactions, those sudden bursts of anger, those moments of retreat, aren't random. They're rooted in a soil of past experiences, unspoken pains, and unhealed wounds. Think about it. How many times have you snapped at a loved one, not because of what they said, but because their words echoed a hurt you've carried for years? How often have you abandoned a goal, not because it was impossible, but because a single failure revived an old fear of being unworthy? These impulses aren't you, they're echoes of a younger self, a self that learned to react as a shield against pain. But shields can become cages if you don't see them for what they are. Consider the mountain unmoved by the wind. It doesn't fight the storm, it simply exists, rooted deep into the earth. Your strength, too, comes from depth, from understanding the soil of your reactions. When you lash out or shrink back, ask yourself, what old story am I reliving? What fear or hurt is whispering in my ear? This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. As Stephen R. Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space is your mountain. Stand in it. See the roots of your impulse, and you'll find the power to stay calm, to choose growth over chaos. Triggers are the winds that test your resolve. They come in many forms: a cutting remark, a looming deadline, a memory of failure, and they howl with the intent to shake you. But why do some winds knock you down while others barely stir you? The answer lies in the roots they touch. A trigger isn't just an event, it's a key that unlocks a hidden chamber of emotion, a place where old fears and unresolved battles live. When someone criticizes you, it's not the words that hurt, it's the way they brush against the scar of self-doubt. When pressure mounts, it's not the task that overwhelms, it's the echo of a time you felt powerless. Yet, like the mountain, you can withstand these winds. Your power isn't in stopping them. Life will always bring storms, but in refusing to be moved by them. Ask yourself, what trigger shakes me most, and why is it tied to a moment I've never faced, a pain I've never named? By shining a light on these roots, you weaken their hold. You transform a trigger from a master into a messenger, one that points you toward healing. In that act, you claim calm as your fortress, a strength no wind can topple. When the wind of a trigger blows, don't just brace yourself, map it. Start by keeping a small journal, a private space to track moments when you react without thought. After an argument or a wave of panic, write down what happened. What was said or done? How did you feel in that instant? Then dig deeper. What past memory or fear did this moment remind you of? Maybe a harsh comment echoed a time you felt dismissed as a child. Maybe a failure revived an old sense of inadequacy. Name it. Seeing these roots on paper strips them of their shadow, their power to control you. Next, create a pause. Before you speak or act in the heat of a trigger, count to 5. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. This isn't just a delay, it's a reclaiming of that space Stephen Covey spoke of, the space where your power lives. In those 5 seconds, ask, is my reaction about now or about something old? This simple act builds your mountain, rooting you against the wind. Practice it daily and you'll find calm isn't a gift. It's a skill forged in the heat of self-awareness. Triggers will come, but you can build an anchor to hold you steady. Start with a grounding ritual, something small but powerful to center you when impulses rise. It could be a phrase you repeat silently. I am the mountain, or a physical act, like pressing your feet into the ground to feel rooted. Choose what resonates with you and make it a habit. When a trigger hits, turn to this anchor before you react. It's a signal to your mind and body that you're in control, not the wind. Then prepare for known triggers. If family gatherings spark old frustrations, plan ahead. Decide how you'll respond if tension rises. Maybe you'll step away for a moment. Maybe you'll focus on listening rather than speaking. If criticism shakes you, rehearse a response. Thank you for the feedback. I'll reflect on it. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Your triggers are adversities, but they carry seeds of strength. Anchor yourself in preparation, and you'll turn chaos into calm, impulse into intention. We've journeyed deep into the roots of impulse, unearthing the origins of your reactive behaviors and the triggers that fuel them. From Maya's family storm to Liam's battle with doubt, you've seen how past pains and fears shape the way you respond today. But you've also learned that understanding these roots is your first step to mastery. By mapping your triggers, creating space to choose, and building anchors of calm, you become like the mountain unmoved by the winds of life's chaos. The key takeaway is this: knowing the source of your reactions hands you the reins to control them. Power doesn't come from silencing the storm, it comes from standing firm within it. As we move forward, we'll build on this foundation, exploring how to wield that calm as a weapon of unshakable strength. For now, hold this truth close and let it guide you through every gust. Final mantra: I am the mountain, no wind can move me. Picture this: a blacksmith stands before a roaring forge, hammer in hand, sweat beating on their brow. The raw steel before them glows with untamed heat, chaotic and wild. One wrong strike and it shatters. But with control, pausing to gauge the metal's temper, reflecting on the force needed, choosing the precise moment to act, they transform that raw chaos into a blade of unshakable strength. You are that blacksmith, and your emotions are the steel. In the heat of life's conflicts, will you strike blindly, or will you forge power through calm? Welcome to Forging the Still Mind, a journey into mastering your reactions. Within the broader quest to control how you respond, this section sharpens your focus on practical strategies to pause, reflect, and choose responses over impulsive reactions. Life's forge burns hot, unexpected challenges, piercing words, crushing setbacks. But here you'll learn to temper the heat within, turning raw emotion into deliberate power. I'm speaking to you directly because this is personal. Your next moment of tension is not just a test, it's an opportunity to craft something unbreakable. Feel the weight of the hammer in your hand. Are you ready to shape your destiny? Imagine you're a manager stepping into a meeting room thick with tension. Your team is fractured, two key members have clashed over a project deadline. Their voices sharp, their accusations slicing through the air like errant sparks from a forge. Emails have already flown, tempers have flared, and now every eye turns to you. Your pulse quickens. The urge to snap, to demand orders, surges like molten steel, threatening to spill. You could react, letting frustration hammer down, but what would that forge? More resentment, more cracks. Instead, you pause. You draw a slow, deliberate breath, feeling the heat of the moment cool just enough to see clearly. In that stillness, you reflect: what does this team need right now? Not a reprimand, but a bridge. You choose your words with the precision of a blacksmith shaping a blade. I see the passion on both sides. You begin, voice steady as an anvil. Let's break this down together. Where can we align? The room shifts. Tension doesn't vanish, but it bends, morphing into a reluctant dialogue. By the meeting's end, a compromise emerges, forged not from anger, but from collaboration. The lesson here: burns bright control, transforms chaos into strength. Like a blacksmith tempering steel, you didn't let the heat of emotion dictate your strike. You paused, reflected, and chose a response that built rather than broke. As Napoleon Hill once said, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Your struggle was internal, mastering the impulse to react, and your effort turned a potential fracture into a unified front. This is the takeaway: power lies not in the loudest voice, but in the calmest mind. Now shift the scene to a packed stadium, the air electric with anticipation. You're an athlete mid-game, sweat stinging your eyes as you push your body to its limits. The opposing team's player taunts you, their words cutting deeper than any physical blow. You're done. Give up now. The crowd roars, amplifying the sting. Your chest tightens. Anger flares like a furnace stoked too high. Every muscle screams to lash out, to prove them wrong with a reckless charge. But where would that lead? A penalty, a loss of focus, a shattered rhythm. You stop. You breathe deep, slow, deliberate. Each inhale is a hammer steadying on the anvil. Each exhale a release of raw, unformed rage. You reflect in that split second. What's my goal? Not to silence a taunt, but to win this game. You choose focus over fury, channeling the heat of anger into precision. Your next move is calculated, your performance unshaken. The taunts fade into background noise as you score, not with words, but with action. Here the forge of the mind reveals its truth. Emotion is raw material, not the master. Like a blacksmith cooling steel to strengthen it, you tempered your reaction with breath and choice. As Viktor E. Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. You claim that space, forging resilience from provocation. The takeaway echoes calm is your weapon control, your victory. Let's step back into the forge for a moment, you and I standing side by side as the flames roar. Life is a relentless smithy, isn't it? Everyday challenges hammer at you harsh words from a loved one, a sudden failure, an unexpected betrayal. The heat rises and your first instinct is to strike back, to let the molten anger spill over. But pause. What are you forging with that reaction? A brittle blade easily snapped under pressure, or can you cool the steel of your emotions, shaping them into something enduring? The blacksmith knows that raw steel untouched by control is useless. So it is with your mind. The heat of the moment is not your enemy, it's your raw material. When you pause, you step out of the fire's chaos and into the craftsman's clarity. Reflect, how many times have you regretted a hasty word, a rash decision? How many bridges have you burned because you couldn't wait one breath longer? Control is not suppression, it's transformation. It's taking the wild, searing energy of emotion and hammering it into purpose. Like a river carving through stone, slow and unyielding, your calm becomes a force no storm can shake. Will you wield it? Stand at the anvil of choice, hammer raised. Every moment of tension is a strike waiting to happen. But here's the deeper truth: reaction is slavery, response is sovereignty. When you react, you're a puppet to the heat jerked by strings of impulse. When you respond, you're the blacksmith, master of the forge. Think on this. How often have you let a fleeting emotion dictate a lasting consequence? How many opportunities slipped through your fingers because you couldn't hold the heat at bay? The anvil teaches patience. Steel isn't shaped in one blow. It's molded through repeated, deliberate strikes. So too with your life. Pausing isn't weakness, it's the space where power is born. Reflecting isn't hesitation, it's the blueprint of wisdom. Choosing isn't delay, it's the act of creation. Imagine your mind as a vast forge, every thought a spark, every emotion a flame. You are not the fire, you are the one who shapes it. Like a mountain standing unmoved by the storm's howl, your stillness becomes your strength. Let the world rage. You don't bend, you don't break, you build. When the heat of a moment threatens to consume you, wield this simple, unbreakable tool, your breath. It's the hammer that steadies the forge of your mind. Try this now wherever you are. Inhale deeply for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Feel the rhythm anchor you. This isn't just air, it's a pause, a space to step back from the fire. Use it when anger flares, when stress tightens its grip, when fear whispers defeat. Next, ask yourself one question in that pause. What do I want to forge here? Not what you feel, but what you intend. If a colleague snaps at you, breathe before you retort. If a setback hits, breathe before you spiral. That single question shifts you from reaction to response. Write it down if you must, keep it as a reminder on your desk or phone. You're not just cooling off, you're tempering the steel of your will. One breath, one question, one choice. That's the sequence of control. Start today. The next heated moment is your forge. Shape it. Beyond the breath, build a ritual of reflection to fortify your calm. Each day, carve out 5 minutes, morning or night, to sit with your thoughts. Grab a journal or simply close your eyes. Replay a moment when you felt the heat rise. Maybe it was an argument, a frustration, a doubt. Ask, how did I handle it? What could I forge differently next time? Write or think through one alternative response, a calmer word, a steadier action. This isn't about regret, it's about crafting. Like a blacksmith studying a blade for flaws, you're honing your skill to choose over react. Pair this with a physical cue, clench your fist, touch a ring, tap your knee to signal pause in real-time tension. Train your mind to associate that cue with reflection. When the next storm hits, that cue will ground you, pulling you back to the anvil of choice. Practice this daily. Your still mind isn't built in a crisis, it's forged in the quiet before the fire. Let's linger in the forge one last time. The blacksmith doesn't just craft for today, they create blades that endure, tools that outlast their maker. So it is with your calm. Every time you pause, reflect, and choose, you're forging a legacy. Not just for yourself, but for those who witness your strength. Your children see it when you don't shout in anger. Your colleagues feel it when you turn conflict into clarity. Your own soul knows it when you sleep without the weight of regret. Consider this: what are you leaving behind with every reaction? A trail of broken steel or a gallery of tempered power? Calm is not passive. It's the quiet force that moves mountains. As Wayne Dyer once taught, how people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours. Your response is your signature on the world. Make it deliberate. Make it enduring. Like a lighthouse piercing the storm's darkness, your stillness can guide others and yourself home. Will you forge that light? As we step away from the forge of forging the still mind, carry this truth with you. Power comes not from the heat of reaction, but from the cool strength of response. You've walked through the tension of a manager's crucible, turning conflict into collaboration. You've stood in the athlete's arena, transforming taunts into triumph. You've learned to wield breath as your hammer, reflection as your anvil, and choice as your craft. The takeaway burns clear: the still mind is the ultimate forge, shaping raw emotion into unbreakable power. Life's fires will keep coming, there's no escaping the heat, but now you know how to temper it. Pause when the flames rise, reflect when the steel glows hot, choose when the moment demands your strike. As you move forward, remember that every challenge is raw material waiting for your control to shape it. The next forge awaits with new tests and greater blades to craft. Step boldly toward it, hammer in hand, ready to create. Final mantra: temper the heat, forge your power. Picture a still lake at dawn, its surface an unbroken mirror, reflecting the endless sky. Not a ripple disturbs its calm, no matter the winds that howl or the storms that threaten on the horizon. This is you, or it can be. In the chaos of life, when tempers flare and crises loom, do you shatter like glass, or do you stand as steady as that lake, offering clarity to a turbulent world? The power of the unshaken is not just strength, it's the quiet force that builds trust, commands respect, and forges resilience in the fires of challenge. Welcome to a truth as timeless as the earth itself. Controlling your reactions is your greatest weapon. In relationships and leadership, in the face of adversity, staying calm isn't passivity, it's authority. It's the unspoken promise that you are the anchor others can cling to when the waves crash. This section, The Power of the Unshaken, dives into the heart of how tranquility breeds influence and connection. You'll see it in action, feel its weight, and learn to wield it. So take a breath. Let the storm rage around you. You are the lake, and your calm will reflect a strength no chaos can touch. Imagine a small tech startup on the brink of collapse. Deadlines miss, clients furious, and a server crash that wipes out weeks of work. The team is a powder keg, voices rise, fingers point, and despair creeps into every corner of the cramped office. You're the project lead, and all eyes turn to you. Hearts pound, waiting for your reaction. Do you snap under the pressure, lash out at the nearest coder, or slump in defeat? No. You stand tall. Your voice is steady as you say, "We've hit a wall. Let's map a way over it, one step at a time." You don't shout. You don't blame. You breathe, assess, and assign tasks with a calm that feels almost otherworldly. At first, the team hesitates. They're used to leaders who crumble or explode. But your stillness is a signal, a beacon in the dark. Slowly they follow. One coder tackles the server logs while another drafts a client update. Hours pass, then days. The crisis doesn't vanish, but it shrinks under the weight of collective focus. Why? Because your calm wasn't just composure. It was a mirror, like a still lake, reflecting the sky, showing them that clarity comes from tranquility. They trusted you not because you had all the answers, but because you didn't let the storm shake you. As Stephen R. Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. You chose calm, and it built a bridge of trust over chaos. The lesson here ties to the heart of staying unshaken. Authority isn't loud. It's the quiet resolve that inspires others to rise. Your team saw a crisis, but they also saw you a lake undisturbed by the tempest. And in that reflection, they found their own strength. Now picture a late night conversation with a close friend. Emotions run high. They're venting about a betrayal, a partner who lied, a dream that crumbled. Their words are sharp, slicing through the air with anger and hurt. They turn to you, half expecting a debate or a quick fix. Maybe even a judgment. But you don't interrupt. You don't react with heat to match theirs. Instead, you sit there steady as stone, your eyes soft but unwavering. You nod, you listen. When they pause, gasping for air, you say, I hear you. I'm here. Nothing more, nothing less. At first, they push harder, as if testing your silence. But your calm isn't weakness, it's a sanctuary. Like a still lake reflecting the sky, your tranquility mirrors back their pain without distortion or agenda. They keep talking, and slowly the venom drains. The conversation shifts from rage to reflection. They start to see their own path forward, not because you preached, but because your unshaken presence gave them space to breathe. By the end, they grip your hand, a silent thank you for not adding fuel to their fire. The bond between you isn't just intact, it's deeper, forged in the quiet power of your restraint. This is the essence of staying calm in relationships. It builds trust, not through words, but through the strength of your silence. You became their lake, their mirror. In your stillness, they found clarity and a friendship that no storm could break. This echoes our core takeaway: staying calm is the root of true power, a force that mends and strengthens even in the face of raw emotion. Let's step back and ponder the weight of calm. Why does a leader's steady hand in a crisis command more respect than a thunderous roar? Why does a friend's quiet listening heal more than a barrage of advice? It's because stillness is rare. In a world of knee-jerk reactions, where every slight triggers a shout and every failure sparks despair, the unshaken stand apart. Your calm is a declaration: I am not ruled by the chaos around me. I choose my response. And in that choice lies authority, a power no outburst can match. Think of yourself as that still lake surface, unmarred by the gales above. The storm may rage, but it cannot touch your depths. When others see this, they don't just admire you, they lean on you. Your tranquility becomes their compass, guiding them through their own tempests. Have you ever noticed how a single calm voice in a room of panic can shift the entire energy? That's not coincidence. It's the law of human nature. We gravitate towards stability. Your stillness isn't just personal strength. It's a gift to everyone around you, a reflection of hope when all seems lost. So ask yourself, how often do you let the winds of emotion ripple your surface? How many times have you sacrificed your power by reacting before reflecting? Calm isn't the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. It's the steel forged in the furnace of patience. Embrace it and watch how your presence alone can turn chaos into clarity. Now consider resilience, the quiet endurance that blooms from staying unshaken. Life is a relentless forge, hammering you with challenges, missed opportunities, heated conflicts, unexpected blows. Each strike tempts you to shatter, to lash out, or collapse. But what if you saw each blow not as a breaking point, but as a shaping one? Like a blade tempered by fire, your strength grows not from avoiding pain, but from facing it with unwavering calm. Picture a towering cliff standing firm against the crashing waves of an angry sea. The water roars and claws, yet the cliff remains unmoved, its surface smoothed by centuries of restraint. That's you when you control your reactions. Every crisis, every argument, every test of patience is a wave. It may sting, it may wear on you, but if you stand firm, it carves you into something stronger. Resilience isn't about never feeling the impact. It's about not letting it dictate your response. How many times have you regretted a hasty word or a rash decision? What could you have built instead if you'd paused, breathed, and let the wave pass? This ties to the lake metaphor. Clarity emerges from tranquility. When you refuse to let the storm disturb your depths, you see the truth beneath the surface of the situation of yourself. Resilience born of calm doesn't just help you survive, it transforms you into a force that others can't help but respect. As Viktor E. Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Choose calm and you choose resilience. Let's get practical. Staying calm under pressure isn't a gift some are born with. It's a skill you can forge. The first step is mastering the pause. When a crisis hits, be it a team meltdown at work or a heated argument at home, your instinct is to react. Stop. Right there in that split second lies your power. Take a deep breath, slow and deliberate. Counting to 5 if you must. Feel your feet on the ground, your heartbeat steadying. This pause isn't surrender, it's strategy. It's the moment you step back from the edge and choose how to respond. Ask yourself, what's the real issue here? Strip away the noise of emotion and see the core. If a colleague snaps at you, is it truly about your work, or are they drowning in their own stress? If a loved one raises their voice, are they attacking you or are they pleading to be heard? That pause lets you see the lake beneath the storm, the clarity beneath the chaos. Then speak or act from that place of understanding. Your words will carry weight, not venom. Your actions will build, not break. Practice this daily. Start with small triggers, a delayed email, a minor slight. Pause, breathe, respond. Soon, even the biggest storms won't shake you. Your calm will become your authority, your trust, your resilience. In relationships, calm is your bridge to deeper connection. Here's how to wield it when someone comes to you with anger or pain. Resist the urge to fix or fight. Instead, reflect. Listen with every fiber of your being as if their words are the only sound in the world. Don't interrupt. Don't plan your reply while they speak. Just absorb. Then mirror back what you've heard, not with solutions, but with acknowledgement. Say, I can see how much this hurts you, or I get why this feels unfair. This isn't about agreeing, it's about showing them their storm doesn't scare you away. Next, hold space. Let silence sit between you if needed. Your calm presence is a mirror like that still lake reflecting their emotions without judgment. Often they'll find their own answers in that space. Try this the next time a friend unloads or a family member clashes with you. Write down one intention before the talk I will listen to, understand. Keep it close as a reminder. Over time, this practice builds trust stronger than any argument could. People will seek you out not for advice, but for the unshaken strength you offer. As Dale Carnegie noted in How to Win Friends and Influence People, to be interesting, be interested. Your calm, attentive reflection makes you a magnet of trust. Look back at what we've uncovered in The Power of the Unshaken. Staying calm isn't just a personal victory, it's the cornerstone of authority, trust, and resilience. Whether you're leading a team through a crisis or holding space for a friend in pain, your tranquility is a force, a still lake reflecting the sky, offering clarity when the world feels like a storm. You've seen how a leader's steady hand can inspire confidence, how a listener's silence can mend bonds. You've felt the philosophical weight of stillness as power, and you've armed yourself with practical tools to wield it. The takeaway stands clear: staying calm is the root of true power, a force that builds and endures even in the fiercest chaos. So carry this with you. When the winds howl and the waves rise, remember your strength lies in your stillness. Be the lake unshaken, reflecting hope to all who seek it. As you move forward, prepare to explore how this calm can shape not just moments, but your entire path. Let this be your guide, your anchor, your mirror. Final mantra: be the lake. Let your calm reflect the sky. Picture yourself at the helm of a weathered ship, the ocean roaring beneath you, waves clawing at the deck with feral hunger. The tempest rages, a beast of wind and water, threatening to shatter your resolve. Yet there you stand, unyielding eyes fixed on the horizon. Why? Because you've become the master of your vessel, the captain of your soul. In this moment, you embody the transformation. We celebrate a master of self navigating life's greatest challenges with unshakable poise. Welcome to the heart of your journey, where controlling your reactions isn't just a skill, it's your superpower. Here in the storm's fury, you learn that power comes from staying calm. Feel the salt on your skin, the wind in your chest. You are ready to steer through the tempest. Let's chart this course together. Imagine the day your world capsizes. You've poured years into a dream, a small business, your life's anchor. Every penny, every sleepless night, every sacrifice woven into its foundation. Then a storm hits, a key client pulls out bills, pile up like debris, and your dream sinks beneath the waves. The loss stings like salt in an open wound. Voices around you urge panic, lash out. Blame others, abandon ship. Your heart races, your fists clench. But you pause, you breathe. You stand at the helm of your shattered vessel and choose clarity over chaos. Instead of drowning in despair, you survey the wreckage. You salvage what remains a loyal customer base, a hard-earned reputation. With steady hands, you chart a new course. You reach out to smaller clients, renegotiate terms, and rebuild not from desperation, but from purpose. Months later, your business isn't just afloat. It's stronger, a ship forged anew in the storm's fire. The lesson gleams like a lighthouse in the dark when life's gales strike your calm, is the compass that turns loss into opportunity. As the captain of your fate, you didn't just survive, you transformed. Mastery of self steered you through the turbulence, proving that power lies in staying calm. Now envision yourself in a boardroom, the air thick with tension. You're in a high-stakes negotiation, your future on the line, a contract that could secure your career or leave you adrift. The opposing side leans in their words, sharp as jagged rocks probing for weakness. They push unreasonable terms, their tone dripping with challenge. Your pulse quickens. The instinct to argue to defend surges like a tidal wave. But you anchor yourself. You remember the captain's creed storms don't dictate your course, you do. You lean back, your face a mask of composure. You listen not to react, but to understand. Their aggression is a squall, not a verdict. With a measured voice, you counter not with anger, but with logic, a proposal that benefits both shores. Silence follows heavy as the ocean's depths. Then they nod. The deal is struck not because you shouted, but because you stood firm. Your calm was your rudder guiding you through their storm to a harbor of victory. Like a captain in rough seas, your mastery of self turned pressure into power. The takeaway shines clear. Staying calm isn't surrender, it's strategy. Let's step back and gaze into the heart of this transformation. Becoming a master of self isn't a gift dropped from the heavens. It's a mantle you claim through battle. Every reaction you tame, every impulse you harness, builds the ship you sail. Think of life as an endless ocean. Some days the waters are glass, reflecting your dreams. Other days tempests roar, testing your steel. How often have you let the storm steer you? How many times have you lashed out only to regret the wreckage left behind? The captain's burden is this: you must stand at the helm no matter the weather. Mastery isn't the absence of fear or anger. It's the choice to not let them grip the wheel. As Viktor E. Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space is your deck, your domain. When the waves of emotion crash, it's your poise that keeps the ship steady. You are not a passenger in life's storms, you are the captain. Embrace this truth and no tempest can unseat you. Dive deeper with me. Beneath the surface of every storm lies a stillness and untroubled depth the chaos cannot touch. So it is with you. The transformation into a master of self means finding that inner calm, that silent current within, even as the world rages above. Why do we flinch at life's provocations? Why do we let a harsh word or sudden setback capsize our peace? It's because we've forgotten the storm is outside, not within. Picture yourself as the ocean itself. The waves may thrash, but your depths remain unmoved. Mastery of self is anchoring to that core, refusing to be swayed by fleeting gales. Staying calm isn't passivity. It's power, a quiet rebellion against chaos. It's the captain who, amidst howling winds, hears the whisper of their own resolve. As you navigate life's turbulence, remember this: your poise is a beacon cutting through the fog of reaction. Let it guide you. Let it remind you that true strength isn't in shouting over the storm, but in steering through it with unshaken hands. Now let's forge a path you can walk today. When life's storms brew, be it a heated argument or a crushing disappointment, your first step is to anchor yourself. Pause. Don't speak, don't act, don't decide. Take 3 deep breaths, each one a rope tying you to your inner harbor. Feel your feet on the ground, your breath in your chest. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Next, name the storm. Is it anger, fear, frustration? Label it silently in your mind. Naming it strips its power, turning a tidal wave into a ripple you can navigate. Then ask yourself, what can I control in this moment? Not the other person's words, not the outcome, but your response. Write down one action, be it a calm reply or a step back to steer your ship forward. This practice isn't just a shield, it's a skill. Each time you choose calm over chaos, you strengthen your captain's resolve. Start now. The next storm is closer than you think, but so is your power. Let's equip you with another tool for the journey. Mastery of self grows through preparation, not just reaction. Every morning before the day's winds rise, take 5 minutes to fortify your mind. Sit in silence, envisioning the challenges ahead, a tough conversation, a looming deadline. Picture yourself as the captain, hands steady on the wheel. How will you respond if the seas turn rough? Rehearse your calm. Speak the words you'll use, feel the poise you'll carry. Then set a trigger, a physical cue to ground you when turbulence hits. It could be touching a ring on your finger, clenching your fist, or whispering a single word like steady. This anchor pulls you back to your center, reminding you who holds the helm. As James Allen wrote in, "As a man thinketh, calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. Polish that jewel daily. Build your rudder before the storm, and no wave will throw you off course." Finally, let's lift our eyes to the horizon. Celebrating your transformation into a master of self isn't just about surviving storms. It's about seeing beyond them. Each time you choose calm over chaos, you're not just steering through a moment, you're shaping your destiny. Have you ever considered what lies past the tempest, a life where challenges don't break you, but build you? A life where your poise becomes your legacy. Think of the captain who, after countless storms, knows every current, every wind. That's you with every reaction you master. Your calm becomes a lighthouse for others, a signal that turbulence can be tamed. As you stand at the helm of your life, remember the rough seas aren't your enemy, they're your teacher. They carve your strength, hone your resolve. Sail forward not with fear, but with faith. The horizon beyond is yours to claim, and your steady hand will guide you there. As we lower the sails on this chapter of your journey, let's anchor the truth we've uncovered. Power comes from staying calm. You've walked through the wreckage of setback and risen with clarity, turning loss into opportunity. You've stood unshaken in the storm of negotiation, wielding poise as your greatest weapon. You've seen that mastery of self isn't a distant dream, it's a choice forged in the heat of life's tempests. The key lesson burns bright when you control your reactions, you steer your destiny. No wave, no wind, no chaos can unseat the captain who knows their strength. Carry this with you as we prepare to sail into deeper waters where new challenges await to test and temper your resolve. Stand tall, grip the wheel, your journey is far from over. Final mantra, steady the helm, your calm conquers all.